Hello, hello, hello. It's time again for coffee time. That's where we go. It's got nothing to do with coffee. We go to the Daily Mail website and we see what news is out there. We talk about it. I don't know if you may hear voices. You may hear sounds from men working. Who knows? Such is life. C'est la vie. What we got? Oh, this is an update. We covered this. We covered this story before. This is Bishop Gregor's Kazakh. Here he is. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's Father Tomat Zmarsley. I get me bishops and me priests mixed up. You know what I'm like. But I don't know if you remember, but he was the priest who organised gay orgy. Do you remember that? And at that gay orgy, a man overdosed on erectile dysfunction pills. Again, these things happen. These things happen. But yeah. Whilst Father Thomas, says he's done nothing wrong, Bishop Gregor's Kazakh, who runs the diocese of Sosnowiec in southwestern Poland, he's resigned because it's his diocese where Father Thomas had the gay orgy. And yeah, Pope Francis accepted the resignation of the bishop. And here is Bishop. You could say Bishop Gregor's. He's kind of taken the rap, hasn't he? He's fallen on his sword. Luckily, he hasn't fallen on Father Thomas's pork sword. There we go. And for those of you who are collecting pictures of Pope Francis, here he is thinking, gay orgy. Oh well, it could have been a lot worse. Nobody mentioned the children. Eh? No one mentioned. So that's it. That's I don't know what we call that. Religious news. Meanwhile, if you think your gas bills are high, that's nothing compared to Lee Haynes and his partner Joe Woodley. Right? They moved into their home in Tamworth in Staffordshire in 2005, and they received a gas bill for almost £11,000. After being told that they owe 18 years worth of energy. The pair said they've immediately tried to sort out the maintenance bills when they moved in, but it hit a block when it came to the gas bill. They couldn't find out who the supplier was, and they're almost 2 decades on. The pair are facing a bill of £10,824.87. Here they are. They don't look nearly as concerned as they should. So... yeah, Mr. Haynes, who works at a school, says it's unbelievable. My worst fears about this have now come true. Letters from National Grid and their housing association, both dated in 2006, confirm the struggles they had to establish their gas supplier. And they're still none the wiser as who's supplying the gas, but have since signed up with a major energy firm. It's weird, isn't it? But yeah, the pair have contacted the Ombudsman and are waiting to hear for a response. Mr. Haynes added, it's very strange. After a few months we had bills for everything but not gas. I was worried about suddenly getting a big bill. So I tried to find out who was our gas supplier. The guy from the Housing Association tried all the suppliers they worked with and didn't know what to do. When the Ombudsman said just to keep the paperwork and leave it, that's exactly what we did. And the pair got a letter from gas distributors Cadent in March 2023, which requested a visit. They could look at the supply to the property. 3 months later, they received a follow-up letter from Cadent, which said the couple owed nearly £11,000 for gas usage between 2005 and 2023. They should have put the money in a sock under the bed. And they received the official invoice last month, which states they have 30 days to pay. Yeah. Mr. Haynes said, I don't understand. The 1986 Gas Act said that they can recover costs if I'm at fault. But I'm not. Who would write in their calendar every year to try and find out who's providing the gas to their home? We just got on with living there like we were told to do. Again, it's not their fault. And Ofgem should step in to help them. But I don't know. We had a similar thing here. At one point, I had two energy suppliers when I first moved here because Scottish Energy wouldn't transfer the thing over and was sending bills in a different person's name. You know, I guess the old again, it wasn't even the old person. It was like Mr. Smith, and I just binned them because I didn't think they would. But eventually, we got it sorted out after about 6 months. But it was a lot of toing and froing. So yeah. What else have we got? I'm trying to find sort of Israel news here. I'm going to just skip through that. Just skipping through that. Oh, here we go. Science news. This is interesting. US researchers have spotted a segment of protein on the outside of tumour cells, in cancer cells, which causes them to self-destruct when activated. This, of course, brings a whole new way of treating cancer if they can figure out, a safe way of doing this. This could open the way to new drugs in the battle against cancer, experts have said, and yeah, it would allow CRT cell therapy to eventually fight solid tumours like those in the breast, lung, and prostate. The pioneering therapy involves giving cancer patients specially engineered T cells to seek out and destroy tumours. And here's a Getty image of. Well, I don't know what that is, but yeah, that's good news. Sorry, the sound outside my window is distracting me somewhat. Cult news. All right, okay, all right then. Let's do some cult news. This is a bit of family feud between. There's three of them, 3 kids of a petrol station tycoon, and it's all about how much of the multi-million-pound family farm they get, they've inherited. The rift between 3 sisters and their brother over the future of the sprawling New Forest property started in the wake of the death of family matriarch Susan Cutts in 2015. God, that's been rumbling on. Trustees of the family money want to sign over the late 72-year-old farms to their son Alistair for the price of $4.2 million. Those proceeds will then be split between the sisters, but equestrian daughters Charlotte Springle is furious at the plan and has accused the trustees of favouritism towards her brother. Now Charlotte, who aspired to compete in the 2012 Olympics but obviously didn't, and her sisters Victoria Deville Cutts and Cecilia Deville Lindsay have taken it to the High Court because they think the farm is worth more than $6.8 million. And here they are. Here are 2 of the sisters who are going to court. Again, this is a tricky one. It's all about, and this is Alistair with his sister, who's getting who they reckon is going to get a bigger share, or I don't know. But again, it's all about the value of the farm. How they work out the value of the farm is always interesting when it comes to estates. Mr. Cutts ploughed his multi-million-pound fortune into Folds Farm, Fordingbridge, in the heart of the picturesque New Forest, which passed to his widow Susan upon his death. That was the father. Oh well. The 500-acre farm boasts a thriving livery stable operation, inherited breed cattle and pigs. But yeah, prior to their mother's death, the siblings shared the farm. But lawyers for the trustees of the Cutts family told the court that after her death, a massive rift between the siblings emerged, as their mother's plans for them to run the farm was no longer viable. Their mother directed their fortune be put into trust for the benefit of all the children. And here's Mr. Cutts with his wife back in the day. He's the tycoon behind it all. So yeah, I guess this one's going to rumble on. And here is the farm from the air. They reckon it's worth at least 6.8 million and possibly 10 million. That's a sizable property. I think 4.4 is undervaluing it. I just hit the mute button in time then. I got caught by a sneeze. So yeah, the judge has reserved a decision as to whether to approve the assignment of the farm to Alistair and the 4.2 million price, to a later date. So we have to come back to that one. Meanwhile, we did have an update on yesterday's story. Fish and I don't know if you remember. This was at the in Barking, Moonfish located in Barking Market, and we saw a fella just throwing fish on the ground to, I guess, frozen fish to break it up. It was a horrific sight. Well, he's been fired. They told him to sling his hook. Come on there, it's like, yeah. Meanwhile, we have travel news. This is during a flight to Antalya in Turkey on September the 6th. Last year, Etherham McCarroll punched cabin crew, screamed down the intercom and smashed the plane's toilet in a drunken rampage. Yesterday, Antrim Magistrates Court, sitting in Ballymena, the 38-year-old was handed a 4-month jail sentence. But she was not immediately detained, as Judge Nigel Broderick granted the mother of 2 bail pending an appeal of her sentence, likely to be heard next month. McCarroll entered a guilty plea to 4 charges of common assault, single offence of criminal assault, being drunk at a plane, endangering the safety of aircraft, and behaving in a threatening, abusive or disorderly manner towards cabin crew. The flight flew from Belfast City Airport. The prosecuting lawyer outlined how police were contacted by Jet2 staff 4 days after the incident. McCarroll was identified and began shouting and swearing in cabin crew, calling the cabin manager a big lesbian bastard, I think it is. Again, she was demanding more alcohol. Despite not being served further alcohol, McCarroll was seen drinking more booze, and she was again abusive to the cabin manager, calling her a effing, I don't know, it could be a shit or a slut. I don't know, shit or slut? Whore, bastard. So, yeah. And then she was openly using a vape. And then damaged the toilet, just your usual thing. But, and here is McCarroll. She's a social worker, by the way. So, yeah, she's out on bail. There he goes. They've gone through her social media to get all the best pictures. And this is why you should never really drink. And if you really need to know, here's a picture of a Jet2 plane. There you go. Aye. And Antrim Magistrates Court heard that if there wasn't for language difficulties, McCarroll would have faced justice in a Turkish court. So, because of the language issues, she actually was lucky she dodged that, because she could have been in court in Turkey, and that would have been a whole lot worse for her. So there you go. Don't drink. Don't go anywhere. Meanwhile, we have another plane story. This is Alaska Airlines pilot Joseph Emerson, and this is a shocking one. Here he is. I don't think. I mean, he's playing a ukulele on. I don't think he's. Is he flying the plane whilst playing a ukulele? That can't be a good thing. But I think we could call him the pilot from hell. He's been charged with 83 counts of attempted murder for each person on board the Embraer 175 plane he was flying, and he's due in court. What happened? Well, he tried to shut down the plane's engine and bring the plane down. The father of 2, is being charged in federal court and faces all those attempted murder charges. He was trying to shut down the San Francisco-bound plane's engines mid-flight on Sunday, and it's claimed that Emerson said he was on magic mushrooms at the time and wanted to wake up when the chaos started. The 44-year-old was off duty and sitting in the jump seat in the cockpit of the Horizon Air plane which was flying from Everett in Washington to San Francisco, when he tried to shut off the engine's fuel supply. And he was restrained, and the plane had to make an emergency landing in Oregon, where Emerson was arrested. Yeah. And these are the fuel controls that he tried to pull. It's like, what a nightmare. So yeah, don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Just stay at home. Stay at home. Meanwhile, further legal news: Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram and Threads. Have you got Threads? You can get tablets for that now. Is in trouble, and this is an interesting one because Meta is being sued by 33 American states over claims that youth mental health is endangered by Instagram. This is going to be an interesting case. Yeah, they're suing them over the impact that Instagram has on younger users, accusing them of contributing to youth mental health crisis and because of the addictive nature of social media. And this was filed in federal court in Oakland, California on Tuesday. And the lawsuit claims Meta, which also operates Facebook, has repeatedly misled public about the substantial danger of its platform and knowingly induced young children and teenagers into addictive and compulsive social media use. And it also alleges that Meta strives to ensure that young people spend as much time as possible on the social media platform. Again, it's engagement. Everything's engagement, and that's how all these things are counted. 9 other states are expected to file similar lawsuits on Tuesday, bringing the total number of states suing them to 42. Carl Tobias, chair of University of Richmond School of Law, said the main argument is that Meta deploys the entity's user information to secure young users' maximum engagement, even while Meta gathers internal research on the possible injuries that the company's product inflict. Interesting case. Meta said in a statement that it seeks to make teens safe online. And it said, "We're disappointed that instead of working productively with companies across the industry to create clear age-appropriate standards for many apps teens use, the Attorney General have chosen this path." It's all about addiction. It's all about addiction. Meanwhile, YouTuber news. Well, there's a couple of do you remember the Japanese YouTube? I don't know if there was a YouTuber or a TikToker, but they was licking the sushi. Do you remember that? They got a 5-year stretch for it. They went down. In Japan, they have a 99% conviction rate. So if you're arrested, there's only 1% chance you're going to be found innocent. So don't get arrested in Japan. But yeah, we have more YouTube news from. Oh, there was the other one as well. There's another YouTuber who was going around harassing the population, and he's in prison looking at a similar. Well, he's actually looking at the chain gang. I think hard labour for him. Can't remember his name. No point. But we've got another one. These people posted a video for over 2 million subscribers saying I travelled across Japan for free, right? And the YouTuber he's a Cypriot YouTuber whose name is Phidias Panayotou, is under investigation. Yeah, because he spent an entire train journey locked in the toilet, faked being a hotel guest to get a free breakfast, and basically ponced around for free whilst travelling through the country. And you could tell he's no good because he's got green hair. He's the boy with green hair. And so yeah, there he is, pretending he's room 505. And so basically, wrong button. He's a thief, and he's now going. I think he's saying, "Oh fuck." Yeah, so that's what you get for travelling across Japan for free. And yeah, he's under investigation, so there's a good chance he could be arrested. But yeah, so that's that. So don't go anywhere. Stay home. Oh dear, what else have we got? Oh, can't do those. Can't do that. Scientists answer the question of can rain come from the wrong direction. Yeah, this comes after Environment Secretary Therese Coffey. Yeah, do you remember when she was Health Minister? Do you remember? Cigar, glass of wine. She said that yesterday that she was being quizzed by MPs about the flood response to Storm Babbitt, and she appeared to blame the storm's flooding because the rain came from the wrong direction. It came from the west rather than the east, or east from the west. She said that she explained forecasts are very good at predicting showers which sweep in from the Atlantic, but added this rain was coming from the other way, and we don't have quite as much experience on that. These people are in power and they make all the decisions about our lives. So yeah, basically the rain came from the wrong direction. Richard Allen, a professor in climate science, said weather forecasting models don't care what direction the rain's coming from. He told the Mail Online, it's uncommon for a drier eastern side of the UK to experience such intense and prolonged deluge, but our weather forecasts are packed full of the most complete observations and physics, which don't care for what direction the rain is coming from, and so we were able to make valuable and high quality predictions. Lee Chapman, a professor from climate resilience at the University of Birmingham, agreed that weather forecasting doesn't care if the rain comes from the east or west. He added, it's true that the east of the UK has significantly less rainfall than other parts of the UK. However, it has no bearing on the intensity of the storms. So, I mean, it just goes to show these people don't know what they're talking about, do they? I mean, but you got to remember that this is our best photo of Therese Coffey. There she is. That's when she was health minister. So there we go. It's definitive. It doesn't matter which way the rain is coming from. So these people shouldn't be in power at all, should they? Meanwhile, we'll file this under how to get away with it. This is Luke McDonough. Let's have a look at him. What does he look like? Yeah. Anyway, Luke McDonough. He decided to rent a Ferrari, right? The unemployed father of two rented a lovely Ferrari, one like this. This wasn't the Ferrari, but it's a similar one. Unemployed father of two, rented a £180,000 Ferrari, right? And he was showing off, like you do, on a wet motorway, and basically rode it off. He wasn't insured to drive the rental Portofino MSA convertible when he lost control and flipped it into a ditch. He was seen driving erratically along the M56 near Lymm in Cheshire on March the 14th. Warrington Magistrates Court heard he'd rented the vehicle from a family friend who works in car sales and rentals. The colleague had driven the car from London but became ill, leading to McDonough to take over before the crash. The married 25-year-old from Backford, Chester, escaped injury and was able to walk away. But he left his friend in the passenger seat. The red Ferrari had been registered just a fortnight earlier, but it emerged that McDonough was uninsured to drive and he wasn't covered under the terms of trade policy. But no one was injured in the crash, luckily. But yeah, he was seen speeding and undertook a car on the railway on the motorway and then flipped it and rode it off. But don't worry. He's got penalty points as opposed to a disqualification. And because he's on benefits, he's getting £120 fine, which he doesn't have to pay until he gets a job. So works out all right, isn't it? Worked out fine. What else have we got? I'm trying to find. Meanwhile, I joke about snail mail, the royal snail mail, but we've actually got the story of an actual snail mail. Yeah, this is Loudoun in Devon, and this is the postbox in question where snails have been eating the mail. Yeah. Have they got a stock picture of a snail? Yes, they have. They didn't disappoint there. But yeah, the locals there have been complaining that their mail has been nibbled, and the snails are eating the glue that holds the envelopes in shape. Right? Yeah. I love it. It says residents of a rural village are being plagued by letter-eating snails. The snails don't know what they're eating. A tasty leaf or this letter. But yeah, the Royal Mail said that the snails have been removed daily, but but we're determined to get back in. And that, like I said, we're eating the glue that holds the envelope in shape. Okay. And the problem is that this lasted for about a year. And there is actually a note here. Dear customer, we want to inform you that the snails seem to be enjoying making a home in this postbox and eating the glue that holds the envelopes in shape. We remove the snails daily, but they are determined to return. It is our business policy not to exterminate them in pellets by other means. Whilst you're very welcome to continue using this postbox, we want to mention that your letters may not arrive without some nibble marks around the edges. That's probably one of the most British letters you're ever going to see, you know. Fantastic. Have your post been eaten by snails? Please leave a comment by mail and put it in the... Oh dear. You know we're living in a simulation, aren't we? Meanwhile, more evidence that we're sitting. This is a TikToker called Brielle, and she's a graduate, and she's recently started her first job, and it's caused her to post a breakdown of her going, I got no time. Welcome to the real world, love. Welcome to the real world. Unless you're like me, and I've got all the time in the world, so there you go. Meanwhile, we do have some weather news, some late weather news. Looks like Storm Babbitt has reached the Isle of Man, and sorry, not the Isle of Man, Isle of Wight. God, what am I like? And yeah, Isle of Wight's under 3 foot of water at the moment. Some people be saying that's a good thing. There you go. Have we got anything else? Have we got anything else? Are there any more? Oh no. Oh jeez, when you just think you've seen it all. Internet Watch Foundation, the IWF, they're an organisation that's been out there to basically protect the kids from the internet and that. And they reckon the IWF have put out a statement saying that, what can I say? Kiddie fiddlers are using AI to create inappropriate images of celebrities as children. Just when you think you've heard it all, like, oh no, Darren, here's a bit more. Here's a bit more. Just absolutely bonkers. Absolutely bonkers, isn't it? Yeah, the AI models are being used to de-age celebrities and make existing photos of actors that are inappropriate. You know. Oh yeah, there's a growing trend, I reckon. I'm just, it's just, we're doomed. We are doomed as a species. We are totally doomed. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this is a story. I suppose we could. I don't know whether it's a story I want to cover, but it's not a good story. It's not a good story, right? Not a good story. But I might just end it on this one because there isn't another. There isn't another animal story here. Oh, why? Why did you refresh just as I was about to click it? I've got to find it again. Don't mind me. Where is it? Oh, that's it. Found it again there. We're going to Michigan in the US of A. This was in Lawrence, Van Buren County, outside the home of Pamela Babb. And there was Annie the deer. Here she is. And she was orphaned, right? The deer was orphaned after her mother had been hit by a car. And here's Pamela Babb telling the story of what happened. You can probably read what happened there. So the locals have been looking after the deer and feeding the deer, make sure she's all right. And then the police turned up. Captured Annie, and then shot her. And this was done because they said that the animal was domesticated. And this deer was known as, they've even named her in the community, wasn't causing any trouble. And many residents report, one said that there was no reason for her to be put down, she never hurt anyone. And yeah, they caught Annie and wrestled her to the ground and then shot her. But under Michigan law, only licensed rehabilitators can legally possess wildlife, meaning families are banned from keeping wild animals and pets. Now, she wasn't being kept as a pet, she was just wandering around. She was a wild animal, but people used to put food out for her, And Pamela Babb said the family rescued the animal as a fawn after her mother was hit by a car. She told her that they couldn't help take her from us because they didn't have any room at the local animal sanctuary. And she told the TV station, I felt like it was more a humane thing as to do was to leaving her with her dead mother. When she got old enough, she just kept coming back to the farm and she would play with you and the kids. So again, they released her, but she kept coming back. According to the Babb, the officers had attended the property on an unrelated child support incident when police officer Loza spotted the animal. He reached out, put his hand on her head and was able to touch her and said she is domesticated and that she needs to be put down. And it's just appalling. In a statement, Chief of Pokagon Band Tribal Police Mario Redlegs said the Pokagon Band Tribal Police is currently conducting an investigation regarding a deer being euthanized as the property of a suspect from Lawrence, Michigan, who was taken into custody for a warrant. Again, that's beside the point. The officer involved has been placed on administrative leave. We appreciate your patience in this matter and provide an update once the investigation is complete. And this has caused locals to create a Facebook group called Justice for Annie. And look, well, that's a stupid rule. It's just totally unnecessary. An awful story. Again, yeah, she was friendly, but she was still living like in the wild, but just like people. And he's the bastard behind it all, Officer Loza. A pox on you. So yeah, that was a bit depressing, wasn't it? I suppose we'll end it there. Poor old Annie, didn't deserve that, and it's a stupid rule if that is the law. And we'll see if I've scared anyone off from the chat room. There's only 6 people in. Andrew's in. He said, I caught you, yeah. He said, I'm not flying on his plane. I heard about this on the news. And he said, I thought that guy was Justin Bieber. And Andrew said, it looks like my car. Yeah, of course. Yeah, he's bragging again. And Penguin says, hey, Darren, first time I've ever been on your live. I saw your video regarding your lovely dog. I'm so sorry you've been through this. I love dogs. Mine is off to the vet at the moment, bad leg. Oh, you're talking about Hannah. That was just about this time last year when we lost Hannah. It was all happened all really quickly. But we got, she's not here at the moment. She's probably at the bottom of the stairs. We've got Layla now. But yeah, it's always hard. It was just how quick it all was. And yeah, she was slowing down a bit, but you know, and then next minute stopped eating and we lost her. And it was hard for all of us, and she wasn't ready to go. So yeah, we've got to do that next month. That's our first anniversary of that. So you know, good luck with your dog anyway. Hopefully everything's okay. Etty's in, says good afternoon, and same to you too. And she says dog cam. Oh, she's not here. She's not here. I can't show you the living room. It's a bit of a mess at the moment because I had to put ink in my printer and I have to move everything that I balance precariously on top of the printer. It's all on the sofa. I live like a pig. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. The missus is currently at the local job centre trying to prove that she's the mother of our children because let our children exist. Because, you know, that's the way things go these days. Hopefully she'll be back soon and it'll all be, you know, okay. Thank you for watching. That was the news, killing the channel one video at a time. Hopefully I didn't depress you too much with that last story, but I wanted to talk about it. I think Annie needs to be honoured. And we'll do this all again soon. Remember, you know you've got to drink it up.